Starting in the next. Good day, Marisburg Power Podcast viewers. In this amazing weather, though some got affected. We had horrible rains in Durban, floods actually. That went completely, that went completely into people's houses and through some, I think, tourism attraction hotels. Or yes, it's really horrible. Someone who's not going to be smiling is the insurance company. They're waking up on a very terrible morning because any now they need to pay out. So today, as we broadcast in home studio, as well as highlighting Marisburg and surroundings, Marisburg wouldn't be Marisburg in total, in full, or completely. I think something that really completes Marisburg is Comrades Marathon. Comrades Marathon, the oldest marathon in the world. Should I emphasize that? In the world, Comrades Marathon is the oldest. And someone who's doing a pretty well job at making sure that the world knows about it. I'm sitting here with Delaine from marketing at Marisburg, and she's doing an amazing job. Delaine, please brief us what Marisburg Marathon is. Comrades Marathon is.
Panagina, thank you. Thank you for that incredible welcome and introduction. Absolute music to my ears. I think for anyone watching this associated with the Comrades, thank you so much for that. And just a correction, we're the oldest ultra marathon in the world,
yes.
And certainly in Africa, let alone South Africa. And we're also the oldest marathon in Africa. And we've been officially recognized as that by AIMS, which is affiliated to World Athletics. And yeah, the Comrades Marathon, you know, it's definitely a race not for sissies. You've got to really, you've got to train, you've got to, be well prepared for such an iconic race. And it's definitely made its mark on running, on eventing, on South Africa's cultural institutions. You know, it's really recognized as a deep-seated, deep-rooted cultural and iconic event on the South African calendar. So we've got our work cut out, and thankfully it's not just brand health and maintaining the status of such an iconic event doesn't just rest with me. We've got many volunteers, 50 of them on the race organizing committee that organizes and plans the race, a board of 11 very skilled members with their interests and their passion and their heart for the Comrades Marathon, and a unique skill set that allows them to really be able to position the Comrades just where we want it, together with our staff members, together with me and the marketing department, our social media channels, all of our digital providers and suppliers. So
so it's a whole team behind you.
Absolutely. And like they say, teamwork makes the dream work, and I'm not alone. So hence, the pressure's on, but you've got a very competent and skilled team behind you to really make things work.
Who are really reliable, if I can add that to
Well,
that.
you have to be, Comrades, you have to be, because when the gun goes off at 5:30 on race day, it's like there's no turning back.
Oh my goodness.
As runners will know, but they're the same for volunteers, for everyone that's associated with the Comrades. We really have maintained the reliability of starting the race, finishing the race within those 11 or 12 hours. Previously, Comrades used to be running 11 hours. And now at least, they've given the runners some grace. So we have, more people finding the Comrades Marathon that much more achievable. But the gun goes and it's time to run.
The gun goes and it's time to run. Are you ready? What's the do's and don'ts? We all want to know. If I want to participate in this race, what do I need?
you need to be fairly able-bodied. I mean, obviously, having said that, we did have a few wheelchair participants over the years. Two, fairly.
Be a neutral kind of platform.
Well, the Comrades prides itself on being inclusive. But at the same time, it's an 89 or 90 kilometer challenge. Well, depending on the up run or the down run, there's some unique facets about the Comrades Marathon. But you need to be able to know that you can actually conquer this race. No use just getting up one morning and thinking, I'm entering the Comrades with no mileage behind you. You've got to be a skilled runner. Every runner will tell you that, whether you're a Bonk Musa Mthembu aiming for a 5:30 win.
Oh wow, that's great.
I mean, it's like he's our guy. Maritzburg soil, Maritzburg and Bull were born and bred, and really one of those local gents who's really put Maritzburg on the road running scene. And it's like it's not just for Comrades, but also on the world road running scene. So it's like we all love Bonk Musa, but then again, it's like every person who's made the Comrades great, it's like we live in awe of them. Or whether you're actually just a 12-hour finisher, coming in at 11:59:59 to claim that finisher's medal, you've got to be able to, run a qualifying marathon. So every runner's got to run a 42.2 kilometer marathon to qualify in order for the Comrades Marathon. And that's got to be run in 4 hours and 50 minutes. And it seems like a lot of time, but when you're out there on the road...
No, it's not, trust me.
Your legs are caving in. It's quite a bit that you've got to do in order to make it on the start line on race day. The Comrades used to be run, well, initially, 1921, the Comrades Marathon was run on the 24th of May. Back then, the 24th of May was known as Empire Day. Wow. Thankfully, all of that colonial past is where we've left it in the past. But then, the Comrades still remains iconic and great, and the legacy of every person that's run it. And I think, it's like the character that the Comrades Marathon imbibes in you, the values and the ethos that it also promotes in every human being is what we're promoting. Yes, it's got a huge history behind it,
but you're still consistently moving forward with that.
Absolutely. It's like, the very notion of Ubuntu. It's like that is what the Comrades Marathon puts in each one of us. That sense of humanity, that sense of oneness, that camaraderie. It's like when COVID hit 2 years ago, we had 12. Due to like all major events being cancelled and just about all sporting events.
Horrible.
Oh, it was depressing for us.
Definitely.
We were left in limbo, but thankfully, together with the board, the staff, our volunteers and stakeholders, we managed to pivot into the virtual space and still keep the Comrades brand alive and host.
How was that?
When COVID hit and suddenly the world was abuzz with virtual events, even I was like, what is this virtual? It's like running virtually, it's like, remember under the hard lockdown, we had to run in our gardens, and some people were running on their treadmills and round in their living rooms. So it's like we all had to quickly learn what is a virtual race. And thankfully the Comrades was also that innovative that we managed to very quickly, it's like within less than a month, put out the very first in the history of the Comrades Marathon, the very first virtual race, and we called it couldn't replace the traditional Comrades Marathon. I'm going to get back to the values that the real Comrades has really, built and nurtured in each one of us.
But you had to adjust.
We had to. So we decided we can't confuse the real Comrades with the virtual Comrades, and so we called the first virtual race the Comrades Legends, where it was basically a race against yourself, but also like try and run at your own pace, but also compete with your finishing times with all of the greats, the Wally Haywoods and the Bull Rowans, the first winner of the Comrades in 1921, the Bonk Musas, and the Camille Herons and the Anne Ashwoods of this world. So it was really amazing, and that was really well received. We had 44,378, I think, athletes from around the world signing up to run the first virtual race from 102 countries.
Wow.
It's like even the normal Comrades gets just about 18 countries participating, but the race, the Comrades Legends, was phenomenal. Everybody still wanted to keep the spirit of the Comrades Marathon alive. Even if they were running in Mumbai in India or in Oklahoma in the US or in London in the UK, it's like somehow all of these nations banded together and said, it's like Comrades is alive. And it's like social media was the buzz. It's like all of our platforms, YouTube runners were sharing their experiences, and it was phenomenal.
Definitely. I had a glimpse of that, and I found it very interesting. Talking about international, the twins, the famous twins. Yes. Where are they?
Well, they are at home in Russia. It doesn't help with what's been happening, with Russia and Ukraine and stuff, but, the politics we try to keep out of sport.
Yes,
everybody loves Elena and Olesya Rudgalieva, and we do too, and they're alive and well on social media. They promote everything Comrades. It's like, they link themselves to all of our, online initiatives and like and share and comment. And so we're looking forward to seeing them again, just like we are with every other winner and runners from all over the world.
Is there any comeback though, anytime soon for them?
Well, we're hoping so. It's like, you must know, with COVID and stuff, and then the cancellation of the 2020 Comrades, the Comrades Marathon had to rethink and, reimagine the entire entry process for this year. So we could also remain fair and true to those runners who entered the 2020 Comrades but couldn't run it because it was cancelled. So we had our first entry window opening for the 2022 Comrades, which is going to be hosted on Sunday the 28th of August. And we allowed all of those entrants for the 2020 Comrades to have a first bite of the pie when it came to this year's race.
Why move to August?
Firstly, because of COVID, the lockdown and the easing of the hosting of sporting events, being quite a gradual process, we decided that August would allow for an almost definite staging of the Comrades Marathon this year, because it was pushed to, as far back in the year as could possibly be hosted, considering the hot weather in South Africa, and especially in KwaZulu-Natal. But then also, the August date allows for 2 extra daylight hours. Now, if you're a Comrades runner or event organizer, you'd know that in June, the runners are starting in the dark at 5:30 and finishing in the dark at 5:30.
Definitely.
So it's like, there's lots of running in the dark. We've got quite a few potholed roads. We don't want runners. We don't want runners being put in harm's way. It's like the Comrades Marathon prides itself on the safety, well-being, health first, and definitely runners first. So everything about our race is centered around the runner and an absolutely phenomenal but safe experience for the runner. So August kind of helps us with that. And like with everything, we're going to gauge how the process works on Sunday the 28th of August, and there'll be a few things that we'll probably have to tweak about it, but so far it seems like it's a good choice.
Yeah, it seems like a good choice when we talk about obviously the timing of the days and the sun, So, do you have a guideline of a diet? For instance, is there a specialist in your organization that assists in terms of diets for if you want to be an athlete?
Absolutely. The Comrades Marathon, as part of its marketing strategy every year, at least in the years that we're running the race and it's not being cancelled, we host novice-specific seminars to tackle, just targeted at precisely the novice runners who've never run a Comrades before. So it's like they know exactly what to expect about the route, about their training, their nutrition, their mindset. Those are all such important factors when you're taking on an ultramarathon, let alone a 90-kilometer ultramarathon. And then we have women-specific seminars. It's like up until 1975, all the way going back to 1921, women were not allowed to officially run the Comrades.
Yes.
So you can imagine how much more has had to also be targeted at the women runner.
Yeah.
So we have women-specific seminars, tackling women's health and women's nutrition, women's training advice, and how they should approach the Comrades Marathon. Then we have road shows. And all of these include the official Comrades coach, Lindsay Parry, who obviously puts out the training programs depending on what finishes medal you would like to achieve in the Comrades. We have a psychologist, a nutritionist, and we have, sometimes include former winners, former general runners, just to share
inspiration, for inspiration.
The likes of Bob Musa, Bruce Fordyce, it's like, and they're welcome to whenever they want to share advice about it. We have webinars, so we also have pivoted into the digital space, runners, no matter where they are,
they can still,
tune
engage
in.
and.
Absolutely, and it's like all of these things are just, part of a wholesome strategy to prepare runners for the ultimate human race.
Definitely. So if you sign up for the race, you are not lost. Comrades Marathon takes you step by step in terms of preparations of what you need to do in terms of getting ready, your readiness stage of your race. And by the way, it's from Pietermaritzburg to Durban this year, which is 2022. So usually it's vice versa, each year it's like vice versa. So I hope you sign up and get yourself fit and get yourself mentally fit as well, because you just heard there's a psychologist in place for you to get ready for the race. Because it takes a lot of effort, emotionally, physically. So you need all the help that you can get.
Absolutely, ladies.
So how can I get all this information?
Everything's on our website, www.comrades.com. We've got all of our main social media channels, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. That anyone that wants information on assisting the Comrades, whether you want to sign up as a runner and enter officially, whether you want to be a volunteer, a supporter. It's like, the Comrades Marathon, like I said earlier, prides itself on being absolutely inclusive. So whether you can run it or not, or assist in one way or another, the Comrades Marathon will reach out and extend that olive branch and rope you in and make you part of the Comrades family. And all the information's online. If not, people can phone Comrades Marathon House, where we've got Laurel in front office, and she will redirect all the calls, whether it's to IT, to marketing, to communications, to finance. To run a liaison where Nomfunda will help the runners. But the information's there. By the way, Comrades Marathon House is in Scottsville, and the phone number there is 033-897-8650. If people want to email us and get more information, the main email address is info@comrades.com. Like I said, the domain name www.comrades.com. And whatever information you want, we'll be happy to supply. Every year, at least when the traditional Comrades being held, besides our board, our race organizing committee, our staff, our sponsors and partners, we've got 6,000 volunteers along the route at 43 refreshment stations. So international runners will say, but we love Comrades because it's a running feast. Every 1.5 to 2 kilometers, I have Coke and any soft drinks. You can have energy drinks, obviously water to hydrate the runners. You can have cooked potatoes, oranges, bananas, biscuits, chocolates. It's an absolute running feast. So you've got to actually watch your diet whilst you're running Comrades. But and then it's like you've got about 400,000 supporters along the route. And nowhere in the world do we have that much supporters cheering on the runners, propelling them towards the finish, and making sure that the route and the race is alive, and it's a buzz with excitement and alive with activity. Our sponsors and partners each brand their refreshment stations. I mean, you see it on TV.
Yes, definitely.
And that is what makes it so iconic. It's like, and then it's like, even for 46 years, we've had the support of SABC, the national broadcaster, together with radio support via Ukosi FM and Radio 2000 and Lotus FM, even East Coast Radio. But then it's like throughout the day, you have all of this media coverage, and it's absolutely...
So you also feel like you're part of the race as
well. It's like, even growing up, it's like, we didn't have runners per se in our family. It's like, but my mom, I think from the age of 5, as far as I can remember, my mom would be getting us up at 5 o'clock. Comrades is going to start just now. So we're all like, me and all my sisters and my brother would line up on the studio couch back in the day, waiting for Comrades to start. And it's like, and then suddenly, all these years later, you come to work at the Ultimate Human Race, and initially I was like, this thing is too big for me. There's no
I'm going to be dreaming.
I'm telling you, it's like, and so suddenly, 12 years later, you realize, you kind of get your head around it. You still, it's like every year is something different and something's new about the Comrades, but it's like, you kind of, got an idea of what to expect. And
definitely.
for me, for the last 11 years now, I just managed the media and communications component, and Comrades restructured last November, and so now I get to also manage the marketing portfolio, which it helps in an integrated way, but then, COVID kind of messed up a lot of our lives.
Tell me about it.
To have lost a few of our staff members and gained new ones, it comes with the whole working environment. You get used to certain things, but it's still fresh for us. But you still got to jump in there and get the work done. And the nice thing about marketing and communications, it's like you obviously have a glimpse of it. It's always fun, and it's what you make it out to be as well.
Definitely.
And when it comes to Comrades and events, you've just got to be right in there and do your bit. So it's like every year's a new year, but with Comrades, the yellow,
the yellow is like
you brought it to life today.
Yes.
But that's what we live for, and that's what we're putting out there on a daily basis, and we love it.
If you don't love Comrades Mother, then I don't know where you guys from. My grandmother, same story. Every morning, we will get so excited, me and my siblings, and then we'll sit there and then watch this race. And okay, what's happening? So it's very exciting. That's where I learned about the twins as well. My grandmother introduced me to the twins.
Yes, everyone loves them. They're so beautiful, and it's like as much as they never spoke, English the way they used to. It's like just with the way they always smiled and showed their love for Comrades, and also being, fairly, small and but ever so powerful. They made it alive for us women as well.
Yes,
and also the way they supported each other along the route and
that was amazing. And my grandma was like, you see now you can also do that.
They made it so easy for all of us. And Elena came so close to matching Bruce Fordyce's 9 wins. With her 8 wins, and then the sister I think has got 2. But it's like they were such a formidable sister pair. It's like even now I follow them on social media, love their posts. They've also made Russia seem that much more accessible for us with the way they put it out there. So love them. But then every winner, whether you're a winner or a back of the pack finisher, you've got something to teach the world. You've got something to learn from Comrades. Like I said earlier, those values of unity, and it's like Comrades has done
it's like a family. It's like a bond of a family.
Absolutely.
Whether you live in Maritzburg or not, whether you live in South Africa or not, like it has that family bond. I have interacted with a lot of internationals, and all they can say that, when is the marathon starting?
Looking, you drive anywhere with a Comrades branded vehicle, and no matter whether it's a roadside worker, a hawker, whether it's a teacher or whether it's a bank
They'll be
manager.
like, I'll join you next time.
Comrades is here, you know, Comrades is here. So all of us feel that draw to the Comrades Marathon. And what it's done for nation building, what it's done for unifying our people, and for just like making even cross promotions in sports. You know, where it's like you have, whether it's like Sharks rugby players, or whether it's like, you know, Bafana soccer players, whether it's basketball or netball players.
I mean,
everyone feels
what's
that
his name? What's his name? He's a musician. Cabello.
Absolutely.
You know, he went from being like you know, kind of fat, you know, to like really fat, like extremely fat. I think he's also selling fitness outfits or something.
With Gail Mabalani, I think they've got some husband-wife pair going.
I think
but
so.
Very few musicians, and well, I mean, Cabello, it's like, you know, on the South African stage, on the world stage, he's huge.
Yes,
and he attended our centenary celebrations, because we celebrated 100 years of the Comrades Marathon on the 24th of May last year. And Cabello was one of the guest speakers, together with Bruce Fordyce and Mam Blanche Moila. And it's like, they're iconic. You know, on the South African scene and on the world scene, it's like they also define great South Africans, you know. But the inspiring ways Cabello describes the Comrades just makes you fall in love with the ultimate human race all over again.
I remember when he was doing it, I was like, is he crazy? I was like, you know. So, Madam, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you here. Hopefully, we're shooting marathon. This year we want to be in. we want to bring you live from Maritzburg Power Podcast.
You apply for media accreditation as soon as it opens in about 2 months' time, and we'll guarantee your spot at least on the media gantry and all of our pre-race media briefings.
You hear that?
At the post-race winners conference, so you have like an absolute bird's eye view in your face of our winners for 2022.
Right now.
So, and that's the other beautiful thing about Comrades, and it's like there's so many media facilities where we can engage with our media, so you're more than welcome. Lungi, it's been an absolute pleasure being here, and especially for our Maritzburg audience, we know this is the home of the Comrades. We always want to serve what the city stands for, support the initiatives of what the city of Pietermaritzburg is outputting, and be part of the everyday vibe. This is the Comrades Marathon, this is Maritzburg, and we need to see more of each other and just make it all work.
Thank you so much for joining us. I cannot say more. Thank you, guys.